Good morning everyone. Hope you all are habituated with the video lectures now. We have completed chapter 6 from part 1 in the last lecture. So today we are going to start the new chapter, that is chapter 7 from part 1 of your textbook, and which is dissolution of partnership, the last chapter in part 1. There are overall 7 chapters in part 1. The very first is introduction to partnership. The short questions are asked from that particular chapter, the first chapter. Then it is final accounts, the long sum of course. The third chapter that we have understood, the valuation of goodwill. In that chapter, different methods for calculation of goodwill are given. The fourth chapter, reconstruction of partnership. It gives an idea about calculation of sacrificing ratio, gaining ratio, and revaluation of assets and liabilities, the journal entries for that, and how to prepare revaluation account. The very next and important chapter, chapter 5, that is admission of a partner. The sums were somewhat like this. There are 2 partners already working in a partnership firm, and a new partner was admitted. The chapter 6 next to it, the opposite chapter to chapter 5, that is retirement or death of a partner. The situation is reversed in comparison to chapter 5. That there are 3 partners working in a partnership firm and one among them retires or dies. 90 to 95% of the long sum remains same in both the chapters, except for some 5% or 2% of minor variations. Yes, the other procedure remains completely same. So now comes the chapter 7 that we have to start today. That is dissolution of partnership form. Now, in standard 11th, you have understood about sole proprietorship. There was only single owner, one owner, only owner of the business. Standard 12, the very first chapter gives you an idea about it gives you an idea about partnership. That what is the situation of business, or how to deal when there is more than one person. There are people who have started business activity together, the partnership firm. Then final accounts of the same, obtaining value of goodwill, reconstruction, the changes taking place in the partnership firm because of admission or retirement or death of a partner. So these many things we have understood in relation to partnership. What partnership is, how to prepare its accounts, how to obtain the value of goodwill, the reconstruction of partnership, why does it take place? Because of the admission or retirement of a partner. We have understood everything about partnership form. And lastly, we are going to understand what is the dissolution of partnership. Chapter 6, part 1, the last chapter. In simple words, dissolution of partnership is end of partnership. It is dissolution of partnership firm. The chapter is Dissolution of Partnership Firm. It is written Dissolution of Partnership only by mistake here on your screen. Actually, it is Dissolution of Partnership Firm. So, we'll understand this topic in detail in today's lecture. So, obviously, this is the very first lecture in context to chapter 7. So, obviously, the first lecture is always a theory lecture. You need to get introduction of the chapter, basic concepts of theory, basic understanding. Only then we can begin solving sums. Alright? You should watch this video lecture till end for complete understanding. Please do not skip a single lecture even, and do not miss watching a single minute. So let us see first of all what we are going to discuss in today's lecture. Firstly, obviously we are going to discuss about the weightage of this chapter. Then we'll have introduction and we'll understand the meaning of dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership firm. And further, we'll understand the difference between these two. That is the difference between dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership firm. So these are the topics taken from this chapter for today in the very first lecture, the theory lecture. You will get an idea regarding what this chapter is all about in this lecture. And then of course we are going to start with the practical sums. But before that, this chapter is more into theory. So we'll have to understand the theory concepts even in detail. So let us discuss the weightage first of all. The weightage of this chapter is of total 8 marks. Yes, of which one is MCQ, one VSQ, 1 mark each respectively, and 2 short questions, each of 3 marks. They can also ask you a theory question here. Alright? So you have to prepare sums, short sums, which is mostly journal entries in this chapter. And you also have to prepare theory questions of 3 marks. You'll have 2 short questions, and it could be sums and theory both. So this way, the chapter is of 8 marks overall. MCQ, VSQ, and 2 short questions, sums and theory both. Okay? So moving ahead, the introduction of the chapter. The name of the chapter is Dissolution of Partnership Firm. Split these words. Dissolution and partnership firm. What is dissolution? Firstly, dissolution means end of existence. If you remember, we say that this is dissolved, it is vanished, it disappeared, it is over, it is finished. So dissolution means end of existence. The very first point presented on your screen. Yes? Dissolution is an end of existence. Now talking about partnership firm. You know very well what is partnership firm. The partnership, firstly, is the relation between the persons who have agreed to share the profit of business carried on by all or any one of them acting for all. Yes? So there are persons who are doing a business activity together and they are collectively called together a firm, and individually they are partners. A simple example. There are three persons, A, B and C. So A, B and C are individually called partners and together it is a firm, a partnership firm. Okay? Now, dissolution of partnership firm is end of the existence of partnership firm. So this is the actual meaning of this chapter. Let us understand what is dissolution of partnership and the dissolution of partnership firm. Dissolution of firm we are talking about first of all. They say, as per section 39 of Indian Partnership Act, when all partners get separated through dissolution of firm that brings end of their partnership, it is known as dissolution of firm. Again, consider the same example. A, B and C are partners and collectively it is a partnership firm. It is a firm. Now, when all these partners, that means the three of them, are separated through dissolution of firm, that means the firm is going to lose its existence. It is being closed down. So it brings end of their partnership. That means the three of them are not going to work together now. The firm is dissolved. This is dissolution of firm. Yes? It is given on page number 275 in your textbook, the very first page of the chapter, dissolution of firm. Yes? In short, when the entire business of the firm is sold, it is dissolution of partnership firm. The entire business has been closed, everything is sold. Now the three of them are not going to work together, so everything is ended. The firm is dissolved. The partnership firm is dissolved. This is dissolution of firm. It is important to understand this definition. It can be a part of a VSQ. The next thing, dissolution of partnership. Now, how is this different from dissolution of partnership firm? Try to understand. When business is not closed down due to the retirement of a partner, death of a partner, insolvency of a partner, or due to any other reasons, and the remaining partners keep business continuous, it is dissolution of old partnership. What did we understand here? Dissolution of firm, that means the entire business is closed, the three of them have separated. For now we have considered the example of three partners, A, B and C, just for the sake of understanding. So entire business is closed, everything is sold. Now the business, that is the partnership firm, does not exist. That is dissolution of firm. Now here we are talking about Dissolution of partnership. Consider the same example. A, B and C are working together. Now C is retired. Of course, you have understood this in the previous lecture, chapter 6. So what happens? A and B will continue after necessary changes, reconstruction of partnership, or else the death of a partner. Yes, A, B and C are partners and C died. That does not mean that A and B will close down the business. No. A and B are going to continue. That means this is just the dissolution of old partnership. Now the new partnership will come into existence. So all they are trying to say is that when the business is not closed down due to retirement of a partner, death of a partner, insolvency of a partner, or any other reason, the remaining partners will continue the business, and that is the dissolution of old partnership. That does not mean the entire business has been closed down. No, it is going to be continued by remaining partners. Alright, so we have understood the dissolution of firm and dissolution of partnership. So important points as a part of conclusion here are: except outgoing partners. Outgoing partners is the partner who retires, the one who gets separated, the one who dies. The remaining partners will keep business continuous. New partnership takes place. As we already know that dissolution of partnership is just the dissolution of old partnership. Here it is. So now new partnership takes place. And whenever new partnership takes place, it results in reorganization of partnership. That is a reconstruction of partnership, which is again the changes in partnership due to several reasons. Several reasons could be any: the death of a partner, retirement of a partner, insolvency of a partner. Yes, in short, the partner who gets separated, the remaining partners have to continue after making necessary and several changes. We have already understood this topic in chapter 4, which is itself reconstruction of partnership. Alright? Fine. Let us now quickly understand the difference between dissolution of partnership and partnership form. The meaning and definition, I hope, is clear by now, and hence let us understand the difference between these two. Okay, so dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership form. It is given on page number 276 of your textbook. Please pay attention. The very first point says meaning. Meaning, of course, we have understood. Reorganization of partnership means dissolution of partnership. That means the new partnership is going to take place and the old partnership is dissolved. Dissolution of partnership form. It is the permanent end of partnership form, and dissolution of partnership form. Completely everything is closed. Existence of firm. The existence of firm remains continuous. How? C retires, A and B will continue. C died, A and B will again continue after a reconstruction of the firm. But in case of dissolution of partnership firm, it is completely dissolved. It is end of existence of the firm. Books of accounts. Books of accounts remains continuous. Why? Because partnership is continued by existing partners. And here, just because the entire partnership firm is dissolved, the books of accounts are closed. Once everything comes to an end, everything is to be closed. Then, settlement of accounts. No accounts are settled, but profit or loss arised due to revaluation is credited or debited respectively to partners' capital accounts. Generally, accounts of outgoing partners are settled. Understand the point, important point. Outgoing partners, here comes the concept of retirement of a partner from chapter 6 again. If you remember, while balancing partners' capital accounts, you used to pay the amount in cash to the retiring partner, or you were keeping it as a loan. And the remaining partners, the balance was carried forward. The closing balance of capital was written in balance sheet. That means the accounts of the remaining partners, except for outgoing partners, are not settled. Why? Because the partnership firm will continue by the existing partners. Only outgoing partners' accounts will be settled. Here, talking about dissolution of partnership firm, they say accounts are settled. Obviously, because it is an end of partnership firm. Everything is to be closed, everything is to be settled. Hence, accounts are settled through realization account. Disposal of assets is done and liabilities are paid. Surplus amount is paid to partners for their final settlement. Now here, realization account is the new thing. Disposal of assets and payment of liabilities again is a new thing for you. These topics are given ahead in this chapter. So for now, you just need to understand a simple thing, that when the dissolution of partnership firm takes place, the accounts are to be settled of all the partners. Final settlement, which is said to be the final settlement. And in detail, you will understand this point further when we come towards the topic of realization account. So please do not worry if you face any difficulty in understanding this point, because the concepts, the words given in this point are new, which have not been explained yet. Yes? Then, interference of court. It is voluntary dissolution of partnership, no need of court's interference. That simply means that there is no interference of court once it is voluntary dissolution. Alright? And here they say, whenever required, court interferes. So as per requirement. The last point. There may not be a dissolution of firm, of course, because it is only dissolution of partnership, not the partnership firm. Please understand the difference. Due to dissolution of partnership, there is only dissolution of partnership. That means the partner might get separated, might meet death, become insolvent. In short, it is dissolution of partnership and not the dissolution of entire firm. Alright? And here they say dissolution of partnership firm. I'm reading the last point. They say there is automatic dissolution of partnership when partnership firm is dissolved. Of course, this is a simple point. If the entire partnership firm is dissolved, then obviously partnership is dissolved. If the firm does not exist, how do you call yourself even a partner of each other? There is no existence of partnership firm now. It has dissolved completely. Yes? So automatically it is the dissolution of partnership even along with the dissolution of firm. Alright? So these were the points of difference between dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership firm. Yeah? You should study this carefully and you will also write this down in your fair book once. Let us check what is your homework for today. It is the definitions. Which definitions? Let us see. This one. The definition of dissolution of firm and dissolution of partnership. Okay? These two definitions you are going to write it down once in your fair book, in the very beginning of this chapter in your fair book. The definitions are really important to understand, to learn. They can be definitely asked as in question of a VSQ. The section B, what we say is a VSQ, very short question section. We have studied important points then and the difference. There are overall 6 points of difference between dissolution of partnership and dissolution of partnership firm. Study thoroughly. Make efforts to understand, to repeatedly study the lecture. Obviously, it is available on YouTube. And make sure that you are completely done with chapter 6 once you start with chapter 7. I mean, once you start watching video lectures of chapter 7. Because as I said, the concepts are related. You should be well aware of the previous chapters to study the current chapters, is what I keep repeating every time. It is not possible for you to understand chapter 7 if you haven't come across the previous lectures taught to you. Obviously, the concepts are included. The concepts of previous lectures are included in the ongoing chapter, always. Yes? So study all the video lectures of chapter 6. Study well, prepare your fair books and only then start with chapter 7. Be regular, prepare your fair books, watch the lectures repeatedly, try to understand, make efforts. Yes? So this was the very first lecture of theory, chapter 7. We have understood the theory of this chapter. We have discussed weightage, introduction, the meaning and definition of dissolution of partnership and dissolution of firm. We have understood the difference, and this is your homework for today. So we'll see you all in the next session. Stay home and study well.